Hello everybody and welcome back to our island. Today I am here with my friend Jay.
Hello.
Who I met back in 2017 when we studied abroad in Tokyo.
3 years.
But the difference between you and me is that you went back to Tokyo literally months after we got back to America. And you've been there for 2.5 years?
Yeah, I want to say 2.5 years. And if you include the study abroad, that's like 3 years basically.
Right, yeah. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Well, today we will be making onigiri, and while we do that, which it's our first time making onigiri, so please don't hate on us if we don't know what we're doing, because we probably don't know what we're doing. And then we also have questions, a lot which were actually fan submitted.
Oh really?
So
okay.
yeah. First one, is it possible to go on a vacation to Japan during the virus?
Yes and no. Right now, from what I've read in the news and stuff, you already have to have a visa to go back or to go over to Japan. So like if you're a student or an experienced worker, so like me for example, I left Japan, but I can go back right now because I still have a valid visa right now. Technically I could go back to Japan, and when I go back I would just have to show them that I tested negative for the virus.
It fell apart so quick. I should have wrapped it up as soon as I could.
Yeah.
I found this question really interesting because I had this question for myself whenever I first went over there.
Yeah.
Do a lot of people in Japan watch anime?
I think the most famous ones everyone knows about. So like, for example, what's hot over in Japan right now is Demon Slayer or Kimetsu no Yaiba. Last month the movie just came out, and apparently it's about to like pass up Spirited Away as far as like ticket sales and stuff. So
I heard it did actually.
Yeah, it did. So the movie was huge. So that's really the wave over there right now. Like even my students that like I was over there teaching, they have like Kimetsu no Yaiba folders or trinkets, all that kind of stuff. It was just all Kimetsu.
What the heck? You're so much better than I am.
I did it, you guys. I'm kind of used to it.
He's a full chub. I think the first time I ate one with Kiefer, he tried to eat the plastic.
I like something he'll do too.
It does. I think her name is Jasmine. She wanted to know how Japan handled the virus.
I definitely want to say the way Japan handled the virus was very organized, and the people kind of followed along to the restrictions for the most part. The Prime Minister of Japan, Shinzo Abe, he came out and said that we're going to shut down the schools. So like I didn't even get to finish like my last lessons or any of the other schools I went to. I didn't have a chance to go to, like the school year just ended like that. So the school year ended and there was no more school for about like I want to say almost a month and a half. Yeah, Japan did a good job because everybody was pretty much social distancing and the restaurants were only doing takeout, pretty much like America, but we got it a lot earlier than you guys.
I'm glad they handled it well. It seemed like they handled it very well because people were already wearing masks.
Exactly.
So they kind of knew what they're doing, and they're always out to look out for each other in Japan. Whereas here it's like people will argue with you about masks. It's just the most simple thing.
Yeah.
I don't understand it personally. Oh, what was it like traveling during the virus? So specifically like taking trains or whenever you came home.
As far as traveling inside of Japan, everything pretty much stayed the same, except literally everyone were wearing masks, and they kind of staggered the train hours. So like for example, like I think the last train was usually like at 12:30 at night, but once the virus restrictions started happening, they cut that to like 11:30. But as far as when I left the country, it was pretty standard. Like they just checked my temperature, asked did I have any symptoms, no, and then just hop on the plane. Make sure you wear your mask the whole time.
But one of my followers wanted to know if Japanese people are racist.
Oh yeah, that's a good question.
Just a disclaimer, I don't know the race of the person who asked the question, so it's definitely different from person to person, obviously. Right. But yeah, for your perspective,
I want to say that there definitely is racism, But as far as me being a black American, they really don't have a connection. Like there's no history between black people, well, black Americans and like Japanese. What I noticed was like it was more racism towards the other races, so like Korean people and Chinese people, so like other Asian countries who they have a deep history with. As far as Americans, like when I told people I was American, they're just like, oh, you're just an American. They didn't really see me as, oh, you're a black guy or you're a white guy. Like if you're American, you're American. They kind of just generalize you into that, I want to say.
I was thinking actually when this person asked the question, in my experience and with the experience with the other white students, it was always based off of us being American, not necessarily like skin color.
Right, yeah, same.
It was more xenophobia than actual racism. I don't know if you were there this one night. Yeah, they were there after a festival, and one of the students, I don't know why he was so mean, and he was also mixed Japanese. He was half Chinese, half Japanese.
Oh, okay.
He straight up told us to our face that he hates foreigners.
Yeah.
And we were just like, oh, okay. And he was just like, they're dumb, they don't understand. And I was like, well, you're mixed.
Yeah.
Where is this coming from?
If it's just generalized xenophobia, like you said, I really don't care that much because it's not specifically geared towards my race, my skin color, so I really can't connect. I'm just like, oh yeah, I guess I am just a foreigner over here. I really didn't feel like, oh, you're that black guy, you know?
We would hear people say like gaijin, which is foreigner, but I've never heard anyone say like black person, or even, I don't know what they would say for like Southeast Asian people, tan people, yellow people, I don't know. But I've never heard anyone like reference skin color.
Yeah, it was just gaijin, so they just hate them all pretty much. Just joking, they don't actually. There
was one time when we went to the school festival, I think it was like the first week we were there. Some guy had lost his wallet, and he approached a table with tall Matt, maybe short Matt was there, Kurt, and Cody. And Cody is, I think he's half Japanese or full Japanese, but his last name is Japanese, and he's from Hawaii. The guy went up to them and was like,
hey, I lost my wallet. Do any of you guys know where it is?
But he addressed Cody, Japanese guy, who knew like no Japanese, while Kurt was like the most fluent person we knew, easily. And Kurt was like, oh, like what's your kanji? Like what's the kanji for your name? We'll look out for it. And he would answer Kurt, but address Cody.
Yeah, that really happens a lot. So like even when I hung out with my girlfriend who is Japanese, I don't want to say every time, but most of the time when we went to places, like when it was time to order or we needed help, the person would answer to my Japanese girlfriend instead of me, even though I had just asked the question. I asked the question in full Japanese, and then she responds to my girlfriend, who didn't even say anything, like she's just off to the side.
Yeah, she's in the corner, like over there.
Yeah.
How important is it to learn Japanese? Everyone wants to know this. They always want to know it. It's their first question.
If you go to Japan and you speak, well, if you learn Japanese, speak it, your life will improve almost, I don't want to say 100 times more, but you will notice the difference living over there without any Japanese versus having some Japanese. Your customers always want to speak to you. Yeah, so where are you from? And then the first thing you hear, Nihongo wa jouzu desu ne. I was offered like job opportunities, more job opportunities, because you're able to speak with the bosses. So like, even in English schools, the bosses don't speak English. They usually hire somebody who knows how to speak English. So me able to speak Japanese, I was able to speak directly to the boss without no translator, and I think they like you like a lot more because they see the effort that, oh, you are trying to learn Japanese. So they open up a lot of opportunities for me.
So for my personal experience, and I was thinking about this when I read the question, I was like, well, I'm very antisocial as it is, and I'll try to avoid asking like any store clerk any question that I can. Like instead of ordering like nikuman, I'll be like, let me get like Lawson spaghetti instead. Like I'll try to avoid at all costs talking to people. That's something I do here too. I just know ways to avoid conversation with like strangers. So for me, it was fine, but I still wish I put in more effort.
Me, because that's what I did when I lived in a rural area. So I didn't have any friends, so I kind of just went out on a limb and I got some of that liquid courage and I just started talking to random people. One night I was by myself in Fukuoka City. I was in Ginza. I literally just started talking to these guys and I was like, hey, where's the train station? In Japanese, and they was like, go this way, go this way. And I started messing with them. We got completely off topic about the train station, and they was like, oh yeah, you can speak Japanese, your Japanese is very good. And then they was like, yeah, we're actually going to karaoke, would you like to go? And I was like, sure. So
What? No.
as soon as we walked in, they handed me the mic. They was like, I want to sing a song, sing a song. And I
What was
like,
your choice? I need to know. What did you pick?
flow, colors.
Yes!
You know I have to do it. We do it every time. Yes, we do it every time.
Boom, boom.
Shibuya, Sakai Isaemo. Yeah.
He wants to know what program you did and if you can do it after college.
With my own personal experience, I would say go the ALT route instead of the Eikaiwa route. Definitely with the Eikaiwa route, you can make more money, but it's also a lot more hours, and the company I was with, I want to say, was like a black company, which is like not a good company. So when I worked Eikaiwa, I only worked it for about like 4 or 5 months. I still had to work like 40 hours a week, and I had 2 separate days off, which were on weekdays. So my life was terrible. The company I worked for was called Interact, and they're very more geared towards working with the teachers and trying to give them what they need and like listening to where you want to go. Because my Eikaiwa, they can put you anywhere they want to. My Eikaiwa put me in the Kumamoto city, Kumamoto. So it was a very rural area. I didn't know anyone. I didn't know anything about the place, and the Japanese was completely different because, you know, they have the different accents and stuff.
Dialects.
Yeah. But when I applied with Interact, I told them where I wanted to work, and they put me in one of the greatest areas. Like they put me. I was in Fujisawa. You remember Fujisawa, right? Yeah, I was in Fujisawa.
I remember Fujisawa.
Yeah, that's where I was.
I made a post on my Instagram about how I almost like ruined my life in Fujisawa. That's a really good area though. I really liked it there. And it's really close to Enoshima too.
Right.
Yeah.
Enoshima, so like I had the beach, like the beach was like 15 minutes away from my apartment. So I was able to go to the beach whenever I wanted, and if I still want to go to Tokyo, I can just take an express train right to Shinjuku. I would definitely say go the AOT route because you will have your weekends, you will have a better social life, and you're also able to make friends with the other AOTs. The only drawback is it's less hours and it's going to be less money. So I don't want to say it's the long-term thing because you won't be able to make as much money.
It can definitely be worth it too if you're really in the place that you really want to be. Like if I was in Yokohama, I'd be like perfect.
Right.
Like you could overwork me, I'm fine.
And then just be upfront with people. Like, I really don't want to go to a rural area. I want to be in Osaka. I want to be in
You're dedicating your life to like a foreign country that you know nothing about.
Yeah.
Like try to push as much as you can for where you want to be.
Exactly.
Especially if you don't know any Japanese, be like, I don't know any Japanese. I know usually you like hire the best people for Tokyo, but I would feel better in like Tokyo or even Kyoto maybe.
Right. Yeah, because
it's such a big change. It's not worth it to move somewhere rural where you don't understand anything. It sounds fun at first until you're there and by yourself. Yeah.
Don't know anybody, no Japanese, so that's where the stress factor comes in, the homesickness and all that stuff. So if you can save yourself that trouble, please do it. So just be upfront because it's your life either way. They need you more than you need them.
Exactly.
There's a lot of drama there too, but I mean, there'll be drama regardless.
We can talk about that off camera.
Off camera? Yes.
The viewers are gonna be like, what are you doing? Alright guys, so thank you for hanging out with us today. This was a lot of fun. We have a lot to talk about. I think I have like an hour's worth of footage. If you have any more questions, please ask them down below. Either I will get back to them, or maybe even Jay might jump into the comments.
I can drop my Instagram link or whatever link to my social media and people can just check out.
And yeah, don't forget to like, comment those questions if you have any, or comment any stories you have down below, and subscribe for more free content. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!